to rocky cliffs, and it was more than likely there was a den here. Something soft and cold gently touched his face. He looked up at the sky and saw the first sprinkling of snow. Now he'd have more footprints to track, but he would also have to find the animal quickly and descend the mountain before the snow thickened. He tightened the grip on his bow. If his instincts were true, and the leopard was just below him in its den on the side of the cliff, he wouldn't have to struggle to find it any longer. But he would have to wait at that spot until it came wandering out again, which might be in another hour or 3 days hence. By then, the snow would go over the top of his head while standing. He would become snow and rock and wind. His insides would feed the leopard and his blood would nourish the young pines, so that he may as well have never had a life down below as a human among other humans. In that life, he'd been a soldier in the Imperial Army, hand-picked from the best archers in the country. No one could surpass him with a rifle or a bow. They called him 평안 Tiger, after an old saying about the personalities of each province. Of course, there were ferocious beasts in every mountain and forest in the little land that even the ancient Chinese had called the country of tigers. But the name suited him more than the farmers from the south. His people were born hunters, who survived where the land was too steep and unforgiving for tilling. His father had also been a soldier under the Pyongyang magistrate. Whenever they skipped paying the army, his father had gone into the mountains. Most often, he'd brought back small game, deer, hares, foxes, and pheasants, though sometimes boars, black bears, leopards, and wolves. When he was a child, his father had killed a tiger by himself, and 6 of the village's strongest men had to come help him carry the beast down the mountain. The rest of the villagers surrounded them in solidarity, while the children ran ahead of the crowd, cheering. A tiger skin was worth more than a soldier's yearly wage. Its massive body was laid to rest in the village square under the ginkgo tree, and somehow the women prepared a feast out of nothing. That was their talent, and everyone drank their fill of the milky rice wine. But later that night, sitting cross-legged on their hot stone floor, his father turned grave. "Never kill a tiger unless you have to," his father said sternly. "But father, we are rich now. We'll be able to buy all the rice we need," he said. The stub candle was flickering modestly, without defying the darkness that protected them all like a thick winter quilt. His mother and younger sisters were either sewing or asleep in the other room, and there was only the murmurous sound of owls on their hunt. His father just looked at him and said, "You've been shooting hares and pheasants since you were a child." "Yes, father." "You can take down a pheasant flying 100 yards away." "Yes, father," he said proudly. Already there was no better archer than him in the entire village, except for his father. "You can shoot an arrow into a tree from 120 yards away and shoot another one right on top of it." "Yes, father." "So, do you think you can kill a tiger?" his father asked. He wanted to say yes, and he did think he could. But his father's voice, as he asked the question, already foretold him that the only right answer was silence. "Show me your bow," his father said. He got up and brought his bow and laid it on the floor between them. "You can't kill a tiger with this bow, no matter how good of a marksman you are," his father said. "It's not powerful enough at a long distance, and a tiger is no pheasant. This bow can only carry enough force to wound a tiger if you shoot from 20 yards or under. To fatally wound, 15 yards or less. Do you know how quickly a tiger can cross 15 yards? He admitted his ignorance with silence. "A tiger is 3 yards from nose to the tip of its tail and can jump over the village tree if it wants to. To a tiger, leaping over this cottage is like skipping over a puddle to you and me."